She said it herself, on camera, sitting right next to Sue Bird, and once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Paige Bueckers, the same Paige Bueckers who was supposed to be the face of an entire generation of women's basketball, admitted something most athletes spend their whole careers burying. She admitted she felt jealous.
And then it just felt like women's basketball just took the world by storm, and rightfully so. So I'm not, and I felt bad because I felt like jealous in a way, and I felt like envious, and I've never been that type of person where I don't want other people to succeed. Like, I want everyone around me to succeed, like, more than I want myself to succeed. Like, I just want great for people. I want, like, I've always thought, like, showing light on others doesn't diminish your own. Like, I feel like iron sharpens iron, and I just feel like really happy for people who are succeeding, because I know how hard it is to be at this level and how much work it takes and how much resilience and dedication and sacrifice.
Think about that timing. Not when the sport was struggling for attention, not when nobody cared, right when the cameras finally showed up. That's when the feeling hit her. And if you know anything about who else was rising at that exact moment, you already know where this story is headed. Before the world knew the name Caitlin Clark, it knew the name Paige Bueckers. She was the #1 recruit in the country, the generational talent, the one every scout, every network, every future headline was already being written around. She was supposed to be the one who carried this sport into the mainstream. That was the plan everyone had already agreed on before a single college game tipped off.
Jealousy that is permeating throughout this entire league toward Caitlin Clark is nasty work. Paige Bueckers live on Sue Bird's podcast, and you could see it on her face during the pregame telecast, the disgust and the sickness she has when it comes to Caitlin Clark. It must be studied. Damn, homie. In high school, you was the man, homie. What the hell happened to you? Caitlin Clark is what happened to you because she took over the world. That is what happened.
She admitted it out loud. That took guts. Most players would never say that part out loud. Most players would smile for the cameras, give the safe answer, and pretend the sting wasn't there. Bueckers didn't play it safe. On a podcast in front of one of the most respected voices in the history of women's basketball, she named the feeling instead of hiding it. And that single choice says more about her character than almost anything she's done on the court. Because here's what most people don't understand about envy at the elite level. It isn't weakness, it's proof that you cared. You don't feel jealous over something you never wanted. Bueckers wanted to be the face of this sport's rise. She earned every reason to expect it. And when the storyline shifted to someone else, admitting that hurt takes a level of self-awareness most 20-something superstars, drowning in fame and comparison, simply don't have.
She admitted that the women's basketball took over. We already know why. It's not because of nobody in the WNBA that was already there. This is in college. This is in college. When Caitlin Clark took over, she felt jealous. Now, take a look at this. Paige Bueckers was pissed while Caitlin Clark was talking about her signature shoes. Now, take a look at Paige Bueckers' face while Caitlin Clark is talking about her signature shoes.
Caitlin, I'm curious, did you hook up any teammates or anybody with the shoe? Or, I mean, Courtney Williams is rocking them tonight, which, like, I've had multiple people ask for them. I only have size 9 right now.
Look at her face. Look at her face.
So they're actually playing in my samples.
Look at her face. She don't want nothing to do with it. She don't want nothing to do with this. She don't want to hear about no damn Caitlin Clark shoes. She been jealous of this girl since college.
My size 2. Both have them on. Both have them on. So
once fans knew the feeling was real, they started looking for it everywhere. And that's when things got interesting. Clips from pregame media sessions started circulating, showing Bueckers and Clark seated together before a game. In one moment, while Clark is talking about her Nike signature shoe line, viewers online zoomed in on Bueckers, her posture, her expression, the way her eyes seemed to drift somewhere else entirely. People online called it distant, uncomfortable, bored even. Screenshots got passed around, slowed down replays, comment sections dissecting every micro expression frame by frame like it was footage from a crime scene. Now, to be fair, body language read from a camera angle is never proof of anything. People misread awkwardness as animosity constantly, especially between two athletes who get compared to each other in every single headline, whether they like it or not. A blank expression during a shoe commercial doesn't automatically mean resentment. Sometimes tired is just tired. But once you already know Bueckers admitted to feeling envy during Clark's rise, it's hard to watch those same clips the same way again. That's the part that makes this so complicated. The internet isn't just reacting to a facial expression anymore. It's reacting to a facial expression with context behind it.
There is no denying that. She is very jealous of Caitlin Clark, and somebody zoomed in on her damn face. Oh my God. Oh my God. I gotta play it. Look at her face. Look at her damn face. Now, Paige did talk to the media, man, after the All-Star game. And hold on. I want to pull it up for you guys real quick.
It wasn't just one clip. Fans started noticing a pattern, and once you see a pattern, you can't stop watching for it. People have described the overall energy between Bueckers and Clark at joint appearances as weird, not hostile, not dramatic, just off. A kind of stiffness that doesn't usually show up between two players who are supposedly on good terms. Reporters covering these events have picked up on it too, not always in a headline, but in the small details. Who looks at who? How long the eye contact lasts before someone glances away? The gap between a genuine laugh and a polite one. Here's the twist though. None of that awkwardness has ever crossed onto the court. Bueckers has never gone after Clark with a hard foul. She's never thrown an elbow. She's never taken a shot at her in a post-game interview. Whatever discomfort might exist off the floor, it has stayed off the floor. Their rivalry, when it actually matters, has remained basketball. Competitive, physical in the way this level of the sport always is, but never personal in a way that crosses a line. That's the part that flips this entire story. It would be easy to frame this as beef. It would be easy to turn awkward body language into a villain arc, but the actual evidence points somewhere completely different, toward restraint, not resentment. Now compare that restraint to how this conversation usually plays out across the rest of the league, because this is where the real contrast lives. Every season, there's chatter about certain players seeming to target Clark more aggressively than the game requires. Hard screens that land a little too hard, extra contact after the whistle, chippy exchanges that carry more heat than the moment calls for. Fans and analysts argue constantly about whether that's just physical basketball or something else hiding underneath it. Nobody outside those players' own heads actually knows the truth of what's driving it. That has to be said clearly, because speculation isn't proof, and it's easy to turn a hard foul into a headline it doesn't deserve. But the contrast with how Bueckers has handled this same pressure is still worth sitting with. So here's the real story hiding underneath all the drama. And it's not the one most people expected. This was never actually about hatred between two rivals. It's about what happens when someone has the courage to look at an ugly feeling and say it out loud instead of burying it. Envy left unspoken doesn't just disappear. It leaks out sideways, in tone and effort, in the way people treat each other when the cameras stop rolling. Bueckers chose the harder, more honest road instead of letting that happen. Maybe the awkward clips mean something, maybe they mean nothing at all, and two focused competitors just don't owe each other a warm smile before tip-off. But one thing is certain, straight from her own words, Paige Bueckers chose honesty over bitterness in a sport that constantly pressures its biggest stars to fake a smile and say nothing real. In a league full of manufactured storylines and comparisons neither player asked for, that might be the most underrated thing happening in women's basketball right now. Not a rivalry built on hate, a rivalry built on two competitors who both wanted the same spotlight, and only one of them was brave enough to admit it. If you think Bueckers deserves more credit for how she's handled this, drop a comment and let us know. And if you want more breakdowns like this one, make sure you're subscribed, because this story is only getting started.